So Elvis the Alien posted this review that's going viral. Well, not a review, but it's a criticism of somebody else's review. Now, I've never talked about Elvis the Alien. I think he makes fantastic videos, but I watched this video like a month ago, when it came out September 1st, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought this was a horrible video. Basically, in the video, he criticizes Logan Paul, who Logan Paul went out on Twitter and criticized Nope. Now, Jordan Peele, who directed Nope, actually responded by saying, who cares? Like, why should I care about his reviews? He's not a filmmaker and all that. And I personally was like, what the fuck? Are you just not like, this is the bullshit I hear. I hate any time, especially film students. I don't want to be that guy, but film students, people that are going to film school or film critics in general, they act so snobby. They act so better than everyone. And look, don't get me wrong, they know more about what it's like to make a film. But if you're a true film fan, something you have to 1000% understand is that for people, films are subjective. If you go ask 5 different people what their favorite movie of all time is, I guarantee you're going to get a different answer. And that's why I constantly hate when film school snobs are like, oh, well, actually, the cinematography in this movie. It's like, shut the fuck up. Just let people enjoy a movie. Like, I always make sure on my channel to identify that, hey, I'm just a nobody YouTuber who just reviews movies. I'm not a critic. I'm not a professional at all. I'm barely making money on this channel. But at the end of the day, I make sure to identify to everyone that, hey, I'm just a normal ass guy. And I always hate these film snob bros like, oh, dude, this movie's objective. It's like, oh my fucking God. You got to be real stupid to say something like that. But Elvis the Alien's actually a very intelligent guy. If you actually watch his videos, they're very well made. I really like them. But his criticism of Logan Paul's review is incredibly stupid. Because basically what he and Jordan Peele are saying is, hey, if you don't like this movie, then oh my God, you suck. And look, for those who saw my review on Nope, I like this movie. I really liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I don't think it's nearly as good as Get Out. I think it is better than Us, but I didn't think it was nearly as good as Get Out, which I think Get Out is a masterpiece. Jordan Peele's a phenomenal director. I think the tension in this movie is great. I like the plot twist of, spoiler alert, the alien, the UFO itself is an alien. I do like the commentary on how animals are being treated in Hollywood in the business, because that's a commentary you never really hear. I was surprised. In fact, I was so surprised of the commentary that I honestly genuinely did not think that that was the message they were trying to say at first until it was explained to me later on. But let's actually watch Elvis the Alien's review.
What's a bad miracle? You gotta wait for that.
Nope is one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. I love Jordan Peele, and Keke Palmer can act her ass off, but this movie is objectively slow and confusing, with stretched themes that don't justify the pace. A thread. Hello everybody, welcome back to...
My only criticism of Nope was that the monkey scene in the beginning felt so out of place. Like, I thought this was going to lead into something, but it doesn't lead into anything. Now, I understand now that the whole point was to show you that, look, this kid's not being hostile. He's actually, the ape is being good with this kid because, they're not monsters. They just don't want to be treated like monsters. They don't want to be treated as skepticals. And then that Asian kid ended up trying to use animals, or in this moment, an alien, as a prop. And then it came back to Biden because he genuinely believed it was invincible. I like the message in that. However, I'll say this. I still think that scene felt out of place for most people that went to go watch the movie. I actually think that scene meant nothing. Looking back at it, I still think that scene could have been deleted and you still would have gotten the same message across. I don't think the movie's slow. I actually think the pacing's good. I just think that one specific scene was not very good. I did like seeing Keke Palmer. This movie did make me a big fan of Keke Palmer. I wasn't like the biggest fan prior, but now I really love her and I really cannot wait to see her in other projects. But I just want to say that quickly.
To 2016. Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of... Okay. It's me, Elvis the Alien, making a
I really hope I don't get copyrighted for that song.
commentary video on another YouTuber. I've been a good boy for quite some time, okay? I haven't been throwing shade nonstop like I used to, but then I was browsing Twitter one day and I came across Logan Paul's tweet about the new Jordan Peele movie.
Wait, let's actually read this review. Nope is one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. I love Jordan Peele and Keke Palmer can act her ass off, but this movie's objectively slow and confusing. Well, no. Well, I think the pace of a movie is objective. But confusing, I think that is more subjective. Because some people can get movies easy. Like, I remember when I watched Tenet, while I was confused, eventually when I left the theater, I was able to put together everything. But for other people, Tenet wasn't that. Tenet, to most people, was far more confusing than it should have been. The pacing part, I think pacing is... Like, there are certain things in films you can't say are objective. But on how good or bad a movie is, that is a subjective thing. Some people are gonna like Batman Robin, some people are gonna hate it. No one's right in that. It's just that's just your own opinion. But there are certain things in movies, like for example, uh, cinematography. I think cinematography is an objective thing. For example, I would say the cinematography in the Batman is far better than in the Avengers 2012, or just CGI wise. CGI, I guess the CGI in Endgame is better than in Sharknado. Another thing that is objective is, of course, who's acting in it. Those are like the far objectives, because when you say something's objective, you got to be able to measure it. You got to be able to prove it. But when you're talking about whether you liked or didn't like a movie, that's not an objective thing. I think people need to start understanding that. Whether you're a film bro, whether you're a film snob, who cares? There's a reason why half the people love Marvel, half the people hate Marvel. You know, it's not an easy, simple answer. It's a completely subjective thing depending on your own experience. Anyways, let's continue.
No, and when I say tweet, I mean tweets. It's quite a long thread. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't count them. 1, 2,
Oh, crap.
4, 5, 6. Oh, he even numbers them. It's so weird to number the tweets in a thread, but he only starts numbering them once he starts asking questions about the movie. So while there's only 10 questions, there's actually 13 tweets. 13 tweets about this movie. He really did not like it. So I went and I saw it last night. So did the star of The Thinning and Airplane Mode make any good points? No.
Okay, I don't know if I don't know if he's bringing this up as a joke, but that still doesn't mean you can't criticize a movie. By the way, I haven't seen any of these Logan Paul movies, but I'm 99% sure I would probably hate these movies because YouTubers don't tend to translate well on the big screen. I mean, we had the Fred trilogy, we had the Smosh movie. I don't know what else to tell you. But that, like, the thing is, I always see that. Like, I'll see some people being like, oh, I don't care about this guy's review because he's a nobody. He doesn't have any film business. And I'll often see that. Like, I'll see, oh, I don't trust this guy's review because he liked this movie over that movie. I like, for example, Grace Randolph. I remember a lot of people gave Grace Randolph, and by the way, I don't like Grace Randolph, but a lot of people gave Grace Randolph a lot of backlash just because she gave Morbius a higher review than Moon Knight. In fact, I had something like that similar happen to me. When Eternals came out, I'm till this day I can't find anyone else who agrees with me on this, but I still believe Eternals is my favorite MCU movie, and that's a completely subjective take. I know nobody, even people who love Eternals, do not agree with me on that, but who cares? It's all subjective. And I remember I had some people saying, oh, you lose credibility. Oh, I can't trust your reviews anymore. And I was like, well, what did you think I was going to do? Like, I can't lie to you because then I'm not even doing my job correctly. I can't lie to you. If I like the movie, then I have to tell you I like the movie. If I didn't like a movie, I have to tell you I didn't. I'm not just going to lie because it's the popular belief. No. And I remember I even had one comment tell me, oh, well, you're not a film critic anyway, so it's not like your review matters. And I was like, well, hold on. You're telling me that only film critics can give their thoughts on movies? Because that's all Logan Paul did. Sure, I disagree with Logan Paul. However, he's more than entitled to give his thoughts. Doesn't matter what he acted on. Are you going to tell me that the cast of Sharknado can't give their thoughts on a movie on social media? I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is a very dangerous loop that we're heading towards.
Oh, no, I'm fucking not! Not really. He couldn't see anything past the surface, and it's frankly embarrassing. I liked Nope a lot. I mean, not only because it has to do.
How is it embarrassing if most people, or not most people, I would say half the people that watch this movie didn't understand the monkey scene. Even John Campea, somebody who's done film punditry for over a decade and was here early on, even he didn't get the scene. Now, I get the scene, but it took me a while to get it, you know?
Fine, but this movie is way.
And the job of getting a scene is not based on the viewer. That is based on the director. If a director confuses an audience member, then that's the director's fault at the end of the day, you know? You can't just say, for example, comedy movies. Let's say one person didn't like a comedy movie. You can't just be like, oh, well, he just doesn't like good humor. No. He just didn't like the humor. That's the director's fault for not falling for that guy's humor. Okay, who cares? Let's move on. If you like the movie, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever.
More than just your standard alien horror movie. It's a commentary on spectacle and greed. This scene is.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't even told to us in the trailers. The trailers were there's an alien out there, and there's going to be a lot of tension in this movie. You know, you're going to get yourself freaked out, and you're trying to figure out what the heck is this alien. The movie wasn't promoting itself as animals are being abused. No, remember, the trailers and the commercials are what get people to go watch a movie. So you can't just come up with the excuse of, well, no, Jordan Peele established that this movie is going to be about this. No, he didn't. No, the entire movie was trying to establish that, hey, this movie's going to be about alien sci-fi. And I still ended up really, really liking the movie, and I really like the commentary, because I believe that's a commentary that you never see in a Hollywood, especially with big movies like this one, you know.
Hammered into your brain non-stop throughout the movie. I thought the sound design was really cool. There will be spoilers for Jordan Peele's Note, so if you haven't seen the movie, then maybe you should skip this video. For those that have seen the movie, let's continue. I really like the idea of taking a UFO, a very recognizable object in the sci-fi realm. Everybody knows what a UFO looks like.
You don't even call them UFOs anymore. Talking UAPs now.
Jordan Peele took this idea and put his own little spin on it. He made the UFO itself.
I did love that. I love that the UFO itself was the animal. That, like, I didn't expect that. I thought the alien was going to be, you know, in the trailers that they showed you that head moving, and you know the tension and all that's coming, and then you also see the clip of the lady with the messed up face. I thought those were going to be the aliens, but nah. Jordan Peele was really good at almost twisting, you know, what was going to be the reveal. I remember even when I left the movie, I was like, wait, what was the reveal? Then I was like, oh, and then when eventually at the end of the movie, it was crystal clear. No, that UFO is the alien. It's not like there's no aliens inside. That is the UFO is the alien. I thought that was really good.
Itself an alien, and the tractor beam hole is just a mouth.
They're right here on the side. You can see, like, you can rent movies. It's trying to tell me to rent the Thing. Nah, fuck that, man.
The alien uses to feed. I thought the acting was great across the board. There's a lot of funny moments in this movie. I thought it was a very solid movie overall, but this is not a review of Note. It's more so a review of Logan Paul's review of Note. So let's go over Logan Paul's complaints. It's not hard to conceptualize. I mean,
I'll be honest right here. This guy clearly is reviewing this because it's Logan Paul, and then putting a big YouTuber's name on your video title usually gets you views. It's funny, when you put the name of a YouTuber on your title, you're going to get more views than if you put a name of an actor. And I know that by experience.
Disturbing. A trained chimp goes animalistic and mauls an entire set, or a UFO devours anything in its path. It is hard to sensibly tie it to the plot, which was done remarkably poor here. This is a massive self-report by Logan. Basically, he's saying he didn't understand what was going on when he was watching it, which is even weirder because why wouldn't he just Google it, you know?
This right here, this is actually the criticism that made me want to make this video. But that is the stupidest freaking thing. Telling somebody, oh, if you didn't understand the movie, then why didn't you just go on YouTube? What? My job is not to go on YouTube just to get what you were trying to say in a movie. Now, of course, different people are going to be able to interpret this. Like, for example, even I did not understand that the commentary was supposed to be about how there's animal cruelty in Hollywood. I did not think that at all when I left the theater until I watched a YouTube video. However, I am not obligated to watch a YouTube video. When I pay for my movie ticket, I am there to go watch the movie that you promised me in the trailers and advertisements. My job is not to understand the movie based on a YouTube video. The job of a director is to make the best movie possible and make everyone understand it. Actually, the number one job is to entertain your audience. And if the audience is confused by it, then you as the director, you're the one at fault in that occasion. And not only that, but Logan Paul's not the only person who felt this way. You go right now on Twitter or everywhere, and lots of people are confused, rightfully so. Now, I was able to get it after watching a YouTube video. Shout out to Heavy Spoilers. You know, I love him. But you can't just expect somebody to watch a fucking video. The movie should be able to portray that. It's kind of like Tenet. In Tenet, there's a couple of scenes, and I'm sorry if I'm bringing up that movie a lot, but in Tenet, there's a couple of scenes where you can't even understand what they're saying. You hear, it's all muffling. It's not my fault that I can't speak lip reading. It's not my fault there was no subtitles. No, I went to go watch the movie, and Christopher Nolan messed up on the audio there, and it left me confused. That is not my fault. You know, and even then, when I rewatched the movie, when I rewatched that scene, I still thought you could have still deleted the scene, and you still could have portrayed perfectly what you were trying to explain the entire movie, the entire commentary. This scene was not needed. This scene was too slow. This scene felt so out of place. And not only that, especially when you put it at the very beginning of a movie, because if you're somebody who understands how movies work, you know very well that if something's at the beginning of the movie, that means it's going to be important later on, especially when they highlight it. And when you see the ape arc did not do anything at the end, then you just kind of feel like, what? You feel empty because you felt like that was leading on to something.
Making a fool of yourself on Twitter. It's very odd behavior, but coming from the guy who made the blog, you know, maybe it checks out. Everything in this movie does tie together. On the surface,
This is fucking stupid. You're saying just because somebody was in a bad movie, that means they can't criticize movies. I'm fine if you criticize someone's review, but you're making it sound like, oh, well, you can't criticize this movie because you did this bad movie. It's like, it's so stupid. Like, Elvis the Alien, on your long time on YouTube, you cannot tell me that you've never made one bad video. And if I was to come here and I said, oh, well, you made this one bad video, so that means you can't review movies. That would be stupid of me. Why would I say that? That would be really stupid. Like, you can still review movies. Even if you're like the homeless guy who has never seen a movie in his life, you can still review a movie as long as you watch the movie. All you have to do is watch the movie, and whatever your thoughts on the movie is, that's your subjective thoughts. That doesn't change based because, oh, this guy was in a bad movie. I mean, there's plenty of bad movies in Hollywood, yet I guarantee you those people that were in those movies probably have different thoughts on certain movies. That's all I have to say. This is like saying when The Last Jedi came out and a lot of people were giving it criticism. It's like saying, well, you never made a movie. You're just on YouTube. You're just on Twitter. You can't review a movie. That's so stupid. Why can't you? Why can't you? And I guarantee you wouldn't be saying this if Logan Paul had given it a good review. If Logan Paul had given Nope a good review, you wouldn't be saying the same things. Do you have to give it a good review then? Just because I don't, like, just because you said so? Like, this is so stupid. I get if you criticize the review, but you're not even criticizing the review right now. You're just saying, oh, you should Google this. Oh, you should do that. You should do this. And, oh, you can't give your bad review because you were in this bad movie. So, you can't. It's stupid. You're now leading to a dangerous pipeline of who can and can't review movies. Like, Elvis, you're an intelligent guy. Watch your videos. But this is so stupid. I mean, I don't know if Elvis has made videos, or not made videos, made movies, but by your own criticism, I could say, oh, Elvis has never made a movie, meaning that he can't review movies, which is fucking stupid. It's really stupid. Are you now telling me that only Scorsese or freaking Spielberg or James Cameron, only they can review movies? No, of course fucking not.
Scenes might seem like pretty random events, but if you think about it for, I don't know, more than 5 minutes, then you realize how they're connected. For example, Stephen Ewan plays a character named Juke. He was a child star.
Wait, didn't you just say earlier that you should have Googled it? So you're overlapping yourself. You're not being consistent.
In this very popular sitcom, and they used a chimp in this sitcom. On one tragic day of filming, a balloon popped, scaring the chimp. And so it went ballistic, and it started attacking the people on set. Jupe is just a little boy, and he's staring as this horror is unfolding in front of him from underneath a table.
I guarantee you didn't get that. I guarantee you watched a YouTube video explaining that, and then you got it. Do not act as if you thought it out. I guarantee you.
Notices one of his co-star's shoes is off of her foot and it's standing upright. It's very bizarre. At first, as a viewer, you might think that this shoe has something to do with the aliens in the movie. Because when you go in to watch this movie, you have your preconceived notions of how an alien movie should be. When weird things happen, it's because of the aliens, right?
I mean, that's what the trailers and advertisers were promoting. This is going to be an alien horror movie, kind of like Aliens. You know, y'all seen that movie. That's what the movie was promoting, so you can't blame somebody for going into the movie expecting that. If you promise me a Superman movie, then I expect Superman. If you promise me a Star Wars movie with lightsaber action, then that's what I'm expecting to get. I don't know why this is so difficult. You can't just give somebody a pass just because, oh, well, they did a twist. No, you can't just give them a pass. No. If you did or didn't like the movie, then that's up to you. Like, I don't know why this is so hard to explain.
How we've been trained to think about aliens through media. So when Jordan Peele shows us this shoe standing upright, it's kind of tricking the audience, you know? It's like, oh my god, the aliens are involved somehow.
Yeah, good for selling a horse's ass.
When really they're not. The shoe is just an anomaly. It's a symbol. It's supposed to represent people's obsession with things that are out of the ordinary and wanting to take advantage of that. So while this massacre is unfolding in front of Jupe, he can't help but notice the shoe. And since he wasn't staring at the chimp, some could argue that the shoe saved his life. And when the chimp does notice him in the scene, it's through a tablecloth, and so the chimp can't really see him, and it reaches...
Like, he is right about all of this, but you still can't blame somebody for not understanding the scene. You still can't blame somebody because it's not like the movie made it crystal clear. You even said it yourself that Jordan Peele is trying to confuse the audience. So why are you so surprised that somebody was confused watching this movie? You know? Imagine if Jordan Peele had come out and said, well, if you didn't get my movie, then you should have watched a YouTube video. That would sound stupid. Imagine if you watch Avatar 2 and it's confusing and James Cameron just comes out and says, well, you should have watched the YouTube video. You should have let somebody spoil the movie prior to watching the movie. No, that would be stupid. So why is this any different?
But Jupe, as a child, thinks this is a sign that he's invincible. And so when he grows up as an adult, he feels the same way about the UFO. He feels like he's the chosen one.
Like, this is all true. But again, most people are not going to get that. Remember what the most popular movies are right now. They're usually popcorn flick, cape flicks. They're usually movies that you kind of just go in there for just pure entertainment. That's it. So you can't blame the general audience for feeling confused, especially when the trailer itself was trying to say alien horror movie, alien killing people. What the hell is the alien? Okay, let's go on. That's what the movie was promoting, which it did deliver on that, except it gave us a plot twist, you know.
and that these strange things that happen around him are happening because he's special. Obviously, this isn't the case, and weird things just happen sometimes. And in this Jordan Peele movie, the alien or the UFO or gene
I did like that. I mean, I think the guy's intelligent. I like the way he speaks. I just think it's some of the points he's making is stupid.
jacket, they call it Jean Jacket in this movie, is just an animal from space. There aren't incredibly intelligent, big-headed aliens aboard this thing, like you would assume. Jordan Peele even bamboozles the
Like Megamind. This is probably one of my favorite scenes. How I did love that shock. I know some people criticize this, but I did like the shock of finding out that it was just some kids in
audience
costumes.
early in the movie by having a bunch of actors dressed up as aliens prank OJ. Isn't it? I think it was pretty ingenious how Jordan Peele was taking all these very stereotypical alien tropes and used them to toy with the audience, make them think that the movie's going in a certain direction, because that's what we're used to, right? When really the movie is basically just about people and...
Yeah, you're explaining yourself. No wonder people were confused. Because the movie specifically was trying to confuse you. It was trying to take you to another way. I still really, really like the movie. I think the movie's pretty good. It's not one of the best movies of the year. I think Bullet Train, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Batman, The Northman, I think these movies are better. Of course, that's my own subjective take. Some of y'all will agree, disagree. But you criticize somebody for being confused, yet you're saying Jordan Peele was purposely confusing people. And I think that's what made the movie really good. And I think that stands it out from other alien horror movies, you know?
And their barbaric need to take advantage of any spectacle, sometimes even at the cost of their own lives. Here's Logan Paul's first question. No one was curious how a quarter shot through a man's face and killed him, or why a key was lodged in the backside of the horse he was riding. It feels like Logan didn't even watch the movie. Maybe he was on his phone. Who knows? What happens in this scene? After the alien is done sucking up a bunch of stuff, it then expels everything that isn't digestible. That includes loose change and forks. In the movie, they brush it off as some freak accident, giving us the explanation that a plane dropped some random shit.
He said it was a prop plane, so make it pops. That shit ain't gonna make sense to me.
While this was very strange to OJ, he did accept that it was a freak accident, until other oddities started showing up, like the cloud that didn't move, the power going out randomly, you know, things like that.
Yeah, now you mention it. I'm probably looking at
I mean, I kind of agree with him on that, but still, again, you can't expect somebody for feeling confused. At that point, I was not confused at. The only part I was confused was the whole commentary. I don't know why the ape scene was included, and I was also confused as to what the heck the alien was.
same damn time every day for the last 6 months.
Logan's second question. Why/how did the shoe stand upright on the set?
I feel like when they were filming that scene with the kids in the alien costume, I feel like Jordan was like, yeah, this is going to be a perfect shot in the trailers.
Of Gordy's home. This one I'm sure has a reason, but I haven't found anything that makes sense. Well, the why and how aren't really important. It's just the fact that it happened, because it happened. There's no hard reasoning for this. Peele keeps the...
Okay, that's a stupid excuse. I mean, I understand his reasoning. However, again, you can't expect somebody for feeling confused as to why a scene in a movie is there. Especially when a movie where you're trying to put the pieces together, every scene to you matters. You're answering your own questions, but because you feel like everyone should have your opinion on the movie because you're the special film critic who everyone loves, you know, you feel like everyone needs to have your belief. But at the end of the day, remember, Elvis, let's actually use this example. The general movie-going audience, which it seems like Logan Paul fits in that area, usually they watch 3 movies a year, 4 movies a year at maximum, maybe even 5 sometimes. Now, I tend to watch a lot of movies every year. Like, I at least will go to the theater at least twice a month, I would say around there. But the general movie-going audience only goes to 5 movies a year. And usually they don't go to movies that make you think hard. They're just like, okay, this trailer looks cool. Oh, crap, I dropped one of my speakers. This movie looks cool. I can't wait for this movie. The trailers look good. The commercials look good. All right, I'm going to go with my girlfriend, my wife, my husband, my kids, whatever, and we'll go watch this movie. You can't blame them for feeling confused, especially when the movie itself wasn't marketing itself as confusion. It was marketing itself as typical horror alien invasion. While Elvis, you have to remember, you're somebody who regularly goes to the movie theater. You probably want to watch these movies with extreme plot twists. It's why sometimes I get burnt out on certain movies because I feel like I'm getting the same thing every time. And I think Elvis probably feels the same way. But with the general movie going audience, they don't really feel burnt out. They just want to see what they feel safe with, you know? I don't know. I don't know how you're not hearing yourself right, you know?
These details kind of ambiguous. We aren't sure if whether or not these are just from Jupe's memory. Jupe was fascinated with the shoe and kept his eyes on the shoe. This ended up saving his life, which works in contrast later in the film because people have to avert their gaze from the alien in order to keep themselves alive. Whether or not the shoe was actually standing upright or if it was in Jupe's memory is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that to Jupe, this happened and it was very...
It's not irrelevant because if it's a movie trying to confuse you and you leave the movie confused, then you're probably going to put together every scene and think, wait, what was the thing they were trying to say? You know? And when you say a scene's irrelevant, then holy shit, then that means the director messed up. Every scene has to feel important in some ways. It's like the Batman. The Batman starts off with Riddler murdering the mayor, and then the entire movie is this murder mystery as to Who is the Riddler? What is the Riddler doing? Why is he doing all this? It looks like he's killing certain people because every scene matters in the movie until eventually when you get into the end of the movie, you find the entire reason as to why Riddler did this. We find out who Riddler is, and you feel like once you get to that scene, every scene mattered along the way because every scene put together an entire piece as to what the mystery is. With this movie, however, when you get into the end of the movie, you're not wondering, wait, what was the commentary? Why is this movie trying to make it sound this way? Why is it doing this? All right, let me go back at the other scenes. Oh, this scene with the ape. Oh, why was that scene there? We eventually got a giant UFO that ended up being the alien. Why was that scene included? An ape. You can't blame the general audience for feeling confused on that. I get you understand it, but it seems like you're not putting your shoes on the regular average moviegoer. Your excuses seem to be, oh, well, you should have gone that 5 minutes in, and you should have Googled it on YouTube, or this scene was relevant because this and that. I don't know, man. It seems like you're very ignorant to the actual criticisms.
Strange. Later in the movie, we find that Jupe, as an adult, has put the same shoe in a glass case in a little museum that he made. That was entirely about the sitcom that he was a part of and the tragedy. People tend to put value on things that are rare, things that don't happen very often, and that's what happened with the shoe. So when Jupe saw that, he took it as a sign, when it was really just a random event.
It was a spectacle. People are just obsessed.
Logan Paul's third question. The deep voice cinematographer was cryptic for no reason other than to be cryptic. You're telling me this guy was willing to die because he wanted better lighting capture the ET? For real? Yes. This guy was never...
Okay, that's the one Logan Paul criticism. I'll be like, all right, I found that stupid because I felt like the movie was very clear in trying to tell you that this guy's entire life revolves around him getting a good shot. And there are actual people in Hollywood who are willing to die just so that they can get a job. Especially when you're in acting, or especially when you're doing these things that are very difficult. Like for him, it's capturing things out of the ordinary. He knows that this is his life, this is his job, this is what he devoted himself to. And all he wants is the perfect angle, especially for something this rare. So I think that scene made sense. That's the only criticism I'll say Logan probably didn't. It seemed like he didn't get that one.
Satisfied. Earlier in the movie, it showed
at least so
watching all
far
the footage that he had of two animals fighting each other, something that most people don't see. But for him, it wasn't that special. He needed something bigger, something more impressive. He needed the perfect shot of the one thing humanity just couldn't get a good picture of. He completely threw self-preservation out the window. Question 4. Man on the motorcycle. Why was his voice deep and robotic, framed to be an antagonist who would have a grand reveal? Mystery, solely for the sake of mystery, is confusing and leaves too many open ends for a viewer trying to invest themselves in a storyline. This reporter is faceless for a reason. His helmet is literally just a giant round mirror, a reflection of everybody. How most people will rush to the scene of a spectacle to try and exploit it for their own gain. This guy is you, Logan Paul. Quite literally. Remember the vlog? Kind of hilarious how this part went over your head when it's literally just a reflection of yourself. Question 5. My next point.
It's just, bro, you're being very ignorant. You're being very ignorant. I did like that. I did like how the movie is trying to be like, okay, who is this guy? What is he? Why is he hiding his face? And I genuinely thought that the reveal was he's gonna take off his helmet and we're gonna find out he's this guy we've seen throughout the movie. I genuinely believe that's what they were doing. And I like how the movie completely shocks you. It doesn't shock you, but it's more like, oh, crap, I didn't think it was going to be nothing. But again, you can't blame the audience for feeling that way because the movie itself, in the scene, if you go look back, in the scene, they keep trying to show you, oh, this is a mystery man. Who's the mystery man? Is he an antagonist? Is he a rival? But then you do nothing with him. And I like that personally, but you cannot blame the average moviegoer for being like, the fuck was the point of having him here,
Point. The storyline.
And I also think he connects to the story of the guy who sacrificed himself for the perfect shot, because what I was trying to show you is people are that desperate in Hollywood, in the business, and really any career, that they devote their entire lives to a certain thing that now they feel like they have to do what's best for their career over their own life, Like often or not, when people come to Hollywood, they end up having to separate from the people that they love. Like if you're born in freaking, I don't know, Ohio, and you want to be an actor or actress, you go to Hollywood and now you're separate from your parents, your family, your friends, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, all because you want a career. And that's not even just Hollywood. It can be anything. It could be, I don't know, maybe you're a lawyer. Maybe you want to do something, I don't know, be the president of the United States. Maybe be freaking North Korea's Instagram admin. I don't know, whatever. But people often do that. And I do like that the movie was trying to portray that.
It's all over the place. In a crowd of 40 people, the actress...
But again, you can't blame somebody for feeling confused on that.
...to a small instead of Gordy's home was there. Why? Shock factor because of her scarring? Does she come to all of them? Did she come before the ET feeding? How does he not get this? Jupe brought her here because they keep in touch and they're friends. It's that deep, like... That's what she said. And it was just a way for them to show us her.
Oh my god. I don't get why this guy is being so ignorant. It feels like... Let me use a good example. It feels like the guy who's good at computers and then is surprised when somebody doesn't know how to use computers as well as them. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. You spend all your time in learning about how to use computers properly, how to do this, how to do that. You can't blame somebody for not knowing just because they never practice. Like, you have to be able to understand that not everyone is you. That's the thing. That's why every time I give my reviews, I try to just give you guys my perspective. And whether you agree, disagree, that's irrelevant. As long as you heard my view, my perspective, that's it. That's all you got to hear. I'm not about to tell you, well, you're wrong because this and this and that. No, you can't blame him, especially when the movie kept trying to highlight to you, oh crap, her face looks messed up. You know? Again, you said it yourself in this video. Jordan Peele was purposely trying to confuse people, trying to misdirect people, so that eventually when the twist came, it would come off as a surprise. You said this yourself. So why are you mad that somebody felt this certain way, you know?
Many years later, it also could have been a way to show us that even when someone faces the full repercussions of toying with something that they don't fully understand, like an actress with a chimp, she didn't learn her lesson and she still went out of her way to go towards the spectacle, to see the amazing UFO.
I mean, yeah, he's right. But again, you can't blame somebody for feeling like, wait, what was the point of this? You know? Especially when you said Jordan Peele was purposely doing this. And that's what he was doing. And I love that he did that. He was trying to misdirect the audience. He was trying to guide the audience to a different path so that eventually when you get the big reveal, you're like, holy shit, you know?
You know. Question 6. Jupe has trauma with the
It's kind of like it's like having a close friend who texts you and says, hey, I got a haircut. And he's like, oh, my hair is bad. My hair is horrible. And then eventually when you see them, you're like, wait, hold up. Your hair actually looks pretty good. They misdirected you. They like guided you to the wrong way. But eventually when you saw him, you're like, oh, that's actually a nice haircut, man. Like, props to you. What's your barber's name? You know, something like that.
Anima, he meant to put phenomena here. Jupe has trauma with the phenomena of commercializing predators for profit. And for the last 6 months, he's been feeding horses to an ET in the sky. But what about before that? What's the purpose of that creepy cowboy theme park? I think it was just like a cowboy theme park. Those exist, you know?
I mean, yeah, I thought that was a stupid criticism, you know, like, I mean, this movie, I mean, that's their whole job, you know, selling the horses and all that, make profits, and it makes sense that these old-time places, you know, these country, old Western stuff, we probably would want horses, because, of course, if you're historically accurate, you know that horses were a big part of back then.
When the UFO was discovered, they decided to center the attraction around that as well. Question 7. Why was so much emphasis placed on the name of the horses? They had title cards. Every animal that was used and exploited has a title card in this movie. Even Gordy the Chimp had a title card. And all these horses were used in Hollywood. And finally, Jean Jacket, or the Alien.
I like that. It felt cool. It felt like Zack Snyder's Justice League when you're like, part 1, don't count on it, Bruce, or something like that. Part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. I like it. It's very cinematic. I like it.
Obviously the victim of a bunch of people trying to exploit it.
But you also can't blame somebody for feeling weirded out about that. Like, why is the movie's chapter specifically labeled a horse's name, you know? Even though I like it, I understand the confusion. This is the thing. I don't think Elvis is understanding that the general movie-going audience doesn't go into a movie thinking, oh, well, this has to look perfect. This has to do great. This has to shock my mind. The average movie-going audience is just there to buy their popcorn and just have a good time, you know? And you're acting as if Logan's the only person that thinks this. No, a lot of people think this. And your excuse can't just be, well, Jordan Peele purposely did that, or you should have Googled it on YouTube. That's not your job. Your job is just to go into the movie and hope you enjoy it. Be entertained, you know? And if you don't get entertained, then that's not your fault. That's the movie's fault. Unless you're using your phone or you're sleeping or something like that, then at that point, that's more your fault. But
at the end of the movie. Question 8. Why was Barbie Ferreira, an incredible acting talent, so underutilized in this movie? Why was she even in the movie? I'm just going to skip over this one. Question 9. Way to strip all the...
I am glad he's... Like, I won't lie to you. When we see her in the movie, I was like, hey, that's the girl from Euphoria. Now, she isn't that big of an actress. She's known within the Euphoria fan base, but besides that, she's not, like, a very well-known actress. My assumption is Jordan Peele... Because usually this is what happens. A director will try to get the talent they feel is best, but usually when it's, like, a talent they don't know... like, for example, Daniel, of course, we know he worked with Jordan Peele on Get Out. Keke Palmer's a very known actress. But with, like, with other smaller actors, usually it's, all right, let's see who's best for this role. Let's see their resume. Let's see how they act. And he probably saw Barbie and was like, all right, great actress. Oh, she was in Euphoria. That's a pretty popular show. All right, cool. I think she can do well in this scene. I don't believe an actor's owed anything. Even if it's the great Harrison Ford, even if it's icons like DiCaprio, you're not owed anything. At the end of the day, if you fit the role that the director needs, then you do the job, and then you get paid. That's it. The only thing an actor's owed is a paycheck. That's really it. You're not owed being in the movie. You're not owed just because your name recognition. And not only that, but you also have to remember Barbie is only really known for Euphoria and not really much else. So right now, it's not like she's this big known actress. Not only that, but even though it's starting to lessen right now, the stigma of being a TV actor or actress is still there. Like usually directors that direct movies are like, oh, this person's on a show, so really they don't really have much movie experience. That's usually how the shit works.
Life from a phenomenal actor, Daniel Kaluuya, by casting him as possibly the most mundane vanilla character I've ever seen. Not a question, I'm just pissed.
I thought he was phenomenal, especially because they were trying to show this guy has anxiety. This guy is very introverted. He's alone. And I actually like that because it balanced off Keke Palmer, who was this extrovert, loud, talkative person, while Daniel's this quiet, keeps himself introvert. And I like how you see the balance of both of them, even though you still feel they have a good relationship with one another. Like, it's cool. I like that because movies rarely do that. Usually movies will be like, oh, the two funny characters are together or the two serious characters are together. No, this one's like, no, this person's more introverted, this person's more extroverted. Let's have them still be able to connect. And Jordan Peele did an amazing job at making them connect. And I like that. I like that. He just goes there to do his job and that's it. And even then, Daniel, like for example, the scenes when Daniel's scared, the scenes where he's crying, the scenes where he's doing that, you can still feel it, but you can also still feel that he doesn't want to express this out loud. He wants to be able to keep to himself. You know, I love that Jordan did that. So I'll admit I disagree with Logan on that.
Kaluuya did a really great job in this movie. What is he talking about? Not all good acting has to be bombastic and loud and crazy, you know? Daniel was very subtle with his acting, but...
All right, this part I do agree with Elvis. I don't think every actor has to be this, loud, Joker, Heath Ledger level kind of acting,
It was still very effective and very funny at times. What he means by this. Number 10. An extraterrestrial creature that is advanced enough to fully shapeshift, activate an anti-electromagnetic field, and propel itself in any direction quickly and quietly. Can't tell the difference between a plastic inflatable and a viable meal.
Somehow you'd think that a man who can send a rocket into space would be able to manage a halfway decent birthday present. Nope.
Okay, so at the end of this movie, the way they defeat it, Emerald Haywood releases this massive balloon, and it's shaped like a cowboy, and it floats up with this alien. She's trying to get a perfect picture of this alien as it attacks the huge balloon, using this well camera that's like pointed upwards. This alien, like any other animal, learns and adapts to its environment. The humans have outsmarted, and they're not looking at it anymore, and it only knows to suck up its prey when they're looking at it, for some reason. So in order to try and get its prey to look at it, it transforms into this like beautiful jellyfish-looking thing in an attempt to get people to look at it, Throughout the movie, OJ has learned the animalistic behaviors of the alien, because he works very closely with horses. He knows a lot about animals and how they behave. For some reason, it doesn't like kites, and it doesn't like stringy things, balloons, stuff that can get stuck in its windpipe, I guess.
Yeah, stuck in its windpipe or something.
I'm not sure how it can suck up homes and wood and shit like that, whatever. Either way, maybe the balloon was just too big for it. The balloon is like a big cowboy, and it was looking at the alien, so maybe the alien thought it was prey and tried to eat it. Obviously, if it
You notice that you're saying maybe, right? Even you yourself don't get it. I like it. I like that it shows that, yeah, the alien is smart, but it's not intelligent, But even you yourself you said maybe, meaning that you were probably confused by it too. So what's your criticism on Logan this time,
had eaten a massive inflatable before, it would have been killed. So this is the first time it's doing this, and ended up destroying it. The alien in this movie is not this extremely intelligent being. It's just an animal, People learn that certain berries were...
I admit, Logan's criticism, I don't agree with that criticism, but Elvis, don't act as if you didn't... Like, if... The difference between you and Logan is Logan probably reviewed this right out of the theater, while you clearly had a lot of time to prepare for this review. You probably did some research and you probably figured out why certain things happen. Not only that, but you're somebody who goes to watch plenty of movies a year. I've seen your videos. You're literally talking about the recent movies, the recent shows. While Logan is probably just a casual fan who's like, oh crap, Jordan Peele, I love Get Out. I want to watch this movie. What does he do this time? I don't know. Like,
Poisonous fight.
It's like you're answering all your questions, but because you need a video and because you want to seem like the cool guy who has a different belief from this popular actor, or not actor, but popular influencer. Oh no, I hate that word. Popular social media, whatever person. You feel like you need to be controversial,
People eating them and getting sick. So the other people are like, okay, avoid this type of berry from now on. This alien is by itself. We don't know much about it, but for whatever reason, it decided to eat this massive balloon. Logan Paul ends his little Twitter rant by saying this. I love Peele.
Look, you even said, I don't know. It's not like you have the clear answers. You just want to give criticism because, somebody didn't like a movie that I like, so I gotta criticize him.
That's an aesthetic, but my thesis is this. I can feel him attempting to recreate the shock from Get Out and Us. Mystery, violent allure, and cinematic choices made for the sake of reaction instead of...
I think the tension in this movie was really good. I thought the tension scenes... And I thought that the shocks kind of made it really good. I don't think it's nearly as good as Get Out, because Get Out is just a masterpiece. It's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. And I thought the social commentary in that movie was done to perfection. But I still think Nope was still a pretty solid movie. I'll say, I think Jordan Peele right now, I think Us was an average movie. I think that movie, the plot twist in that movie really caused the movie for me just not to like it as much as I thought I would. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it's an average movie. It's that kind of movie that, hey, if you're playing it, then cool. I just think that the plot was a little stupid and silly. With this one, Nope. I liked it. I just didn't think it was anywhere near as good as Get Out, especially with that confusing ape scene, and especially for being confused. Oh, Get Out! Get Out had like a big plot twist, although the plot twist was more lingered on from the very beginning, and yet the audience was able to get what Jordan was trying to go with here. So the criticism can't be, oh, well, you need to watch a YouTube video. No, no, no. The criticism lies on Jordan. Except because you like the movie, you feel like you're entitled to have everyone believe what you believe.
Legitimate contribution to the storyline killed this movie for me. Yeah, but the mystery, the violent allure, and cinematic choices were not just for the sake of reaction, though. It goes a little bit deeper than that. Look,
it was for reaction. What do you mean? Movies are reactionary things. Why do you think Marvel movies try to make these big pops like John Krasinski as Reed Richards or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man returning so that the audience can go all happy? With comedy movies, the reaction is comedy. Oh, I'm messing up. Like comedy movies trying to get a funny reaction out of you. They try to make you laugh. Horror movies try to scare you. Drama movies make you feel nervous, make you feel fear. Action movies are fun entertainment. Those are reactions. Movies are reactionary things. What was? Oh my God.
He's mad that it wasn't a legitimate contribution to the storyline. While I agree this movie is more focused...
You're answering your own questions. You said in this review that this scene is irrelevant because of this and that. And then you specifically said that Jordan is trying to misguide people so eventually the twist can be big. You're answering Logan's questions. You can't blame the general audience for not getting it. Not everyone's going to go watch a movie 3 times. Not everyone watches these kinds of movies all that often. You're answering your own questions. And you can't use the excuse of, well, you should have watched a YouTube video to get this.
On its themes, I don't think that's a bad thing. Pretty clear that Jordan Peele didn't care all that much about making...
It's not a bad thing, but you can't blame somebody for not getting it. Especially when your criticism is not this like big thing that you're supposed to get, not criticism, but the confusion. Yes, Jordan Peele made this movie confusing. That was the purpose of the movie, so that it could misguide you and so that you could believe something, so that way the plot twist would become bigger. But remember, the movie promoted itself as aliens are on this farm. There's going to be a lot of tension, horror. You can't blame somebody for feeling confused this way. Like, I don't know what to say. Especially when Get Out was not all that confusing. Get Out had a plot twist. Get Out had something that was trying to lead you on to something. But that movie was able to do it in a way where once it happened, you 1000% understood it. And every scene along the way fit perfectly for that narrative.
Things extremely obvious for the viewer, but I think keeping things ambiguous made the film more effective. And they weren't even that ambiguous to begin with, This isn't a Charlie Kaufman movie or anything. It's just a fun horror movie with some pretty compelling themes.
Yes, it's a fun horror movie, but again, you've said it yourself. This movie was trying to misguide you, again, so that the twist or the thing that happens, baffles you. It's almost like it surprises you. It comes out of nowhere, in a way. You answer that, so you can't blame somebody for being confused. You're answering your own questions on this.
And I liked it a lot. I just think it's so ironic. And
remember, you're not the average moviegoer. You're more of the hardcore cinephile, which that's a cool thing. I can tell just from your background. I mean, I'm already seeing a Blade Runner poster in the background. But the average moviegoer does not have that. The average moviegoer at most probably has like 3 DVDs, and it's probably from like a Star Wars movie or a Jaws movie or something like that. And then that's about it, And they probably only go to like 4 movies a year. And usually it's because, I don't know, this movie got a lot of good reviews. This movie just looks cool and great. Or maybe they're Marvel fans who, they trust Marvel. Their money is going to Marvel regardless.
Hilarious that Logan Paul, of all people, just did not understand this movie at all. Like, this movie is just a commentary on people like Logan Paul. It's so good. Anyway.
Oh my God. I don't... Your criticisms are stupid, Elvis. Like, I like the movie. I really liked it. I actually want to buy this movie on Blu-ray. But your criticism seemed to be, oh, it's your fault for being confused, even though you said yourself that the movie is confusing. Logan Paul has no right to give bad reviews because he was in bad movies. And, those are your criticisms. They're not valid criticisms, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I just thought it would be funny to talk about this for a minute. Let me know what you thought of the movie Nope in the comment section down below. Thank you so much to all my patrons that support this channel. I love it. You guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's a well-made video, but just with a lot of stupid points, But I don't know. This was a L video from Elvis, man. Elvis has a lot of great videos. Look, I'm even gonna give him a shout out. Look, I'm subscribed already. He has a lot of good reviews of a lot of movies. What the fuck? I haven't seen that one. The Next 365 Days, Bloodborne, No Death Run, Venom movies, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, Pixels. I mean, this guy makes a lot of great content. It's just this specific review was really stupid. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know, man. I, I just don't like it when people act so pretentious about movies. And no, I won't lie to you. This happened to me once. I remember when I was getting into my hardcore cinephile stage back in like 2019, 2020. I remember I would always be like, oh, well, if you like this movie, then you have no credibility. And I annoyed a lot of people around me. Like, I would pretend as if my thoughts on the movie were the 1000% thoughts. And I remember I would often go to like the popular belief. Like, what's one movie? I remember Batman vs Superman. I hated Batman vs Superman, and a large part of it was because of the popular belief. But eventually, I just ignored the popular belief and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go with the heart." You know, I know people always say, "Think with the brain, not with the heart." You know, and that is true in the most cases. If you're thinking something, but your heart believes another thing, you should most likely go with the brain. But if it's something like this, which is just a subjective thought of liking or not liking a certain thing, then that's always with the heart. You cannot challenge the heart. If your heart tells you like, I don't know, Nope, then then you like Nope. But if your brain is telling you, well, other people are saying that this movie's bad, so I gotta believe this movie's bad, then immediately you're just being disingenuous. And Elvis right here seems to be saying that. It seems like Elvis is saying, well, you should like this movie because you were in bad movies and the movie was purposely being confusing. It's kind of like Morbius. Now, I like Morbius. I like the Morbius movie. But it's like saying that the people who hate Morbius should just accept bad writing, bad dialogue, and they should focus on the rest. No, you can't tell somebody that because that's just what their heart believes. It's subjective. That's why I keep saying that. I don't get why people even argue that. Like, what do you gain and lose from just saying, hey, movies are opinion based? I don't know why that's such a big major concept that some people don't get, but I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please subscribe, smash the like button, turn on notification bells, do whatever it is you got to do, and comment down in this video down below, what do you think? Now, this is a pretty long video, so shout out to everyone watching. And in fact, if you did watch this video at the very end, I'm going to give you all a test. Go right now in the comment sections and comment down #IsaacNation. Just so that I can know you watched the entire video. I'll pin your comments, do whatever, and I want to give y'all a proper shout out because I do wonder who's watching the videos from the very end, which is weird because my videos tend to be pretty long. And also, Elvis, if you're watching, my criticism is not towards you. You're still a great guy. You still make great content. There's a reason why you have 1 million subscribers. However, it seems like you're missing the basis of what makes a film fan, and that is liking movies and not liking movies. You know, not everyone's going to believe the same way you do, and your excuses were pretty stupid, you know. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.